So gold, silver come down a bit. The miners quite a bit also, especially some of them. Some of the seniors I didn't expect it from some of the seniors like Newmont actually I think it led the way before anything else. Um and then Barrick Gold took a massive hit 2 days ago. Pan American Silver has been pretty brutal. Now some of the seniors I expected more from the medium, especially the juniors, which they did suffer the brutality that you expect. But let's just look at the charts. I mean, actually, first thing, the news. So, today is Thursday morning, very early. I mean, I expect this to have a bit of an impact on the DXY and therefore gold yields, etc. Housing starts, initial jobless claims, Philadelphia, manufacturing, the usual stuff. I mean, there's news every day. So for me, anything that's sort of medium or significant is something to take note of. I don't want to count on news to reverse the trend, but you never know because the DXY, and I'll get to this now actually, the DXY is, I mean, for me, this whole move up here, remember we flushed 100.8 down here and then we went all the way up. This is pretty impressive. Didn't expect this either. I mean, not initially and not to the extent it did. And then we came all the way back down. This was a little bit more possible to telegraph because, they started to say, oh, the Fed hikes are done. We're going to even cut next year. And I think there were even 6 cuts priced in at some point. There were different numbers, but quite a few cuts, not just one. And now they're saying, no, fewer cuts, maybe just three. And I just feel like we'll probably end up going about halfway. I mean, I don't need to Fibonacci this, and I'm not going to, but instead of 6% down that we've done, we'll probably do about three, because it's about half the rate cuts that initially was discussed that they're suggesting. So I think we'll, just on a news basis, actually, on a macro basis, I'm not thinking technically here, we'll probably retrace up. And plus, we've come all the way back down. It's usual to have a bit of a bounce, and here we got some follow through. I do still think 104 is in the cards, and I don't know if this high yesterday, 103.7, is the same as 104. I think we may still go a bit higher, maybe some sideways up on some of this news we just saw, 104. But it would be good if we topped out at 104. I'm being a bit selfish here, but I would love the DXY to now roll over. But I mean, think about it, you can go all the way up here, sideways, and all the way up. Then miners are going to be really crushed. And that's why you need sidelines always. But that's a different matter. So yeah, maybe 104, and then we fail double top roll over. And then if you roll over, this will look really bearish. You'll start seeing this 100.8 being very, very significant. And if you flush that, it's really the absolute low. But we're far from that. But I'm just thinking, the amount of rate cuts that they're walking back, maybe we bounce half, basically to about halfway point. Anyway, that's DXY. Still looks okay. If you think about yesterday's candle, though, it's not the most bullish. So if we do come back down, this breakout zone should be support. Otherwise, these tails down here should be support. This actually isn't really support anymore, in my opinion. It's more this zone here. But our first stop here, let's get there first before we start talking about levels of support below. But for me, otherwise, the high of yesterday all the way up here. So very zoomed in. Those are the levels I'm looking at on a daily close basis. Let's look at yields. Yeah, the 30-year, I'm not sure about this trend line, but this ascending that was lost, now we retouched it. But I think it's the horizontal ones. If the DXY goes a little higher, like I said in my prior video, then I see this big horizontal line here, this breakout point that you can see we really took out there. I think that'll be a retest. So that should be resistance roughly 4.4, let's say, on the 30-year. If we come back down, then, the prior resistance should be support. I'd say that's around here, maybe even down here, 4.15. So, anywhere around here should be support. If it does come back down, the news can do anything these days. 10-year, we're at resistance now. If we go up on the next level, is just like the 30, it has its own sort of breakout. It could be around here. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. 5-year, yeah, it's sort of in no man's land. I don't see it at resistance. Resistance is here. Support is going to be, to be honest, support will be the lows down here. 2-year, that's becoming more and more relevant now. That's a big move up. I don't think it's done actually, and I think resistance is going to be around here. It's a bit hard to say, but I do think it might go up a bit more. These are some strong candles here. Support will be the lows down here, and the 1 year is not really relevant, but actually it's looking like it's at resistance descending. So yield, the important ones look like they can go up a little more. The DXY, to be honest, it still looks like it can go to 104, but let's see what the news does today and tomorrow. The weekly candle will be pretty important, I think. Let's look at gold and silver. So it's not looking good for me. You've completely lost the ascending, obviously, and the horizontal 2015. I think that was relevant. We did sort of bounce there intraday, yesterday, Wednesday. We closed, in my opinion, in no man's land. I know some people think 2000 is support. I don't see it. Yes, psychologically, it's good to close above 2000 still. I would be surprised if we just hold this and go back up. Again, I think we're going to see some more moves in the DXY and yields that will move gold and silver. For me, the next level of support is quite simply 1975-ish, 80, 1970 to 1980, this zone here. And if we see any moves up in the yields or gold, in the dollar or yields, it should really make its way there like a bit of a magnet. And that will be a close below 2000, and that's not good. You really want to hold this and go back up. If you zoom out, the chart will not be looking bearish for some time. So, but it's about the miners. The miners are so sensitive and their chart is totally destroyed. We'll get to them in a second. Let me just look at silver first. Silver held at least its horizontal zone, so that's good. Just about. Okay, this morning it's just doing a bit of reversal. But I mean, look, gold closed above 2000, silver held its horizontal, so it could have been worse. At least there's that. But you just need DXY and yields to do their thing in reverse. If we do go to the next level in gold, 1975-ish, silver definitely will be down here. Hopefully still above 22. It's pretty hard to call the support zones. You can see why I've got this one here. The next one, you can see why. Look at these candles here. Look at this tail here. So yeah, let's just see which one holds, and who knows, maybe we hold here. Just have to wait and see. Let's look at the miners. GDXJ. Look at that gap down. For me, you can see why. I think you can see why I've got this here. It was the low there, touch. This was a bit of a weird period. Look at that reversal on this day. I forgot what it was, but that's beautiful. Like close at low of day below support, and then totally must have been news or something. But here, yeah, little gap here. It's hard to call. I would be looking at gold and silver only. The miners are in no man's land, free fall. For me, you've got a bit of a support here. Let's say 33 round number. Below that, I guess you could say 32. This it's really hard for me to call GDXJ. I'm just gonna say 33 for now. If you zoom out though, it's not the best looking chart. And now you can see how important it is to have closed above this. We failed. GDX, same thing. Look at this failure to close above. And now look where you are. Gap down, same thing. Where's your support? For me, I guess it's this zone, actually 27. GDX has not been holding up as well as I'd expect. You expect it to outperform GDXJ, and to be honest, it's been matching it, and in some cases, maybe even worse. SILJ, same thing. SILJ, surprisingly, it's not even doesn't look as bad as the GDX and GDXJ. It should be, because these are the junior silvers. This is as aggressive as it gets. I mean, if you look at some of the miners, why not? I don't usually do this, but Newmont, look at that. Just completely at its lows. Support is going to be here. Obviously, I'll do a weekly update at the weekend, but 34 is a hell of a buy. I'm nibbling, but I'm nibbling in a very scared fashion, like very small amounts. I nibbled the other day. I'm happy I didn't go too hard on Barrick the other day. Barrick, for example, look at this close. I knew it was going to go lower, but I just couldn't ignore this huge move down. I don't even think there was news. It was, I don't know, I just nibbled knowing it'd go lower. And then again, yesterday nibbled, knowing, really thinking that we're going to keep going down. But this is what you do. You buy when it's bloody, even when the technicals look bad, you buy a little bit, and in my opinion. And then when it looks like it's going to reverse, you buy more, and you buy a bit heavier. So I nibbled a tiny bit. It's like 2 to 5% of what I hold already. It's like little nibbles. It's like more psychological stuff, to be honest. As long as I'm gonna long-term hold it, which I am. These are seniors. Agnico Eagle. Okay, that's not looking as bad as the other. Pan American Silver, though, that looks as bad as Barrick. Look at that, absolute lows coming up. That was nibbled yesterday, not the day before, because that wasn't bad enough. But Pan American Silver, Barrick Gold, Newmont. Look at these huge flushes. These are not shitty stocks. These are beasts. Also, now the royalty stocks look a lot better. I mean, the charts don't look as bad, but Wheaton, this is not bad enough for me to buy. I want to see it down here. I don't think it will get there because the businesses, these make a lot of money with gold kind of plus or minus $400 from where it is. I mean, they make money constantly. So that's why the stock charts don't look as bad. But holding these look really good for defensive measures. But Wheaton, these are the three royalties. And you know that I've picked up Wheaton again. You know, I sold it up here and I said, nah, I want to buy it back. I want to hold more royalties. So Wheaton looks good, not bad enough to add to Franco-Nevada, which I added here and I added again here. And I'm actually above my buy-in, but this looks good. Look at this, down not even 2%. It's a beast. And also royalty Metalla. It's unbelievable how $3 is holding. Look at that green. This thing, as soon as the miners reverse, it's going to go straight up here. But all of them are going to go up, 10% in 2 days when we reverse. So that's not saying much, but very impressed by it. Not even gap filling. I mean, it's incredible strength. So these are my three royalties. They're doing well. And honestly, the rest of the silver stocks that I own, they're just doing as bad as you'd expect. I mean, First Majestic down, but this is what you expect. That's why I don't hold too much in the silver stocks. But I didn't expect some of the seniors that I went through at the beginning to have done as bad as the EXK, which is just the worst stock that I've held for a long time. Honestly, it's been down not as much as the others. So I could just eliminate EXK and add its proceeds to these, and it would have been worth it. Like sell a crappy EXK stock and buy something much better, which has gone down more. So relatively speaking, it's actually good. MAG, just like EXK, the ones I don't like. Anyway, I won't go through all of them, but it's the same pattern. It's just the point is the seniors have really disappointed. And for that reason, I've nibbled early both days. Yesterday, I did nibble more than I did on Tuesday. But I really do think we're going to keep going lower. And it's unbelievable. You go through this cycle quite a few times and you get used to it. But some of the lessons are still not learned. I think I should have foreseen the drop a bit more. I knew it was possible, but I really thought we were going to go up. And I should have lightened the bags a bit. And now the bags have been lightened for me by the markets because the values obviously dropped. But thankfully, the sidelines, this is one lesson I've definitely learned a while ago, and that's to keep a lot of cash on the sidelines. Because when you're all in and you see this, it's pure despair. All you can do is hope, which is the worst strategy. Here, at least, I've got well, it was 33, 32% cash. Now I think it's 30, but when you've got 30% of a pretty big portfolio, at least you look forward to the drops, because once you switch to buy mode, which I'm kind of in now, you start to look forward. You want it to go down, and psychologically, that's very good, especially compared to when you have no choice and you're just holding. So I'm switching to buy mode, but I'm still a bit hesitant because for me, the DXY yields can go a little higher, and therefore the miners go lower. Anyway, I'll leave it there, but I am covering this, and I'll do maybe another video tomorrow if it's just as horrendous. And obviously the portfolio update, which I think you guys like quite a lot. I'll go through that in more detail. Okay, good luck today.